Good to see everyone again. Appreciate you guys all coming. I was thinking a little bit about today, and sometimes I think a good start to things is talking about what something is not. And I thought I would talk a little bit about that today before I introduce Brook. We're incredibly excited today, and what today is not about, it's not about players that we traded away. It's not about creating cap space. It's about this phenomenal human being and player that we're so excited to have join the Lakers. When Irvin and I came in with Jeannie's vision, Brook Lopez is exactly the type of individual and NBA player that we targeted to be a core part of what we're trying to build here. He stands for high character, high basketball intellect. He's uniformly respected throughout the NBA by other players as someone who always plays with toughness, plays the hard way, competes on every play. He transformed his game last year from being just a low post presence to now being one of the best stretch fives in the game. Took 387 three-point shots after, his first 7 years in the career, first 7 years in the NBA, not coming anything close to that. His talents are, easy to find and easy to research. We found one today that he's the third player in NBA history to make 103 pointers and have 120 block shots. So he's adapted to the new style of play in the NBA. Every year he's committed to his fitness, his endurance, how he takes care of his body, how he treats other human beings. And we just couldn't be more proud of who he is and how he's going to help us lead this new Lakers team that we're forming. We all know in the draft we had 4 new faces. 3 of them will be introduced tomorrow. Of course, we already introduced Lonzo Ball. Brook is going to be a key leader for us to help these young men grow into great NBA players. And we don't see next year at all as a rebuilding year. We see it as a Lakers year. And a lot of that is going to be centered around him and what he stands for and what we know he'll give to this organization. So with that, I just wanted to introduce the newest member of the Los Angeles Lakers, Brook Lopez. Congrats, man.
Thank you, thank you. It's a dream. It's a dream.
So what I thought we'd do is let Brook talk for a little bit. He's got the smart Stanford education, so he'll probably be a lot more articulate than a Michigan Wolverine. But I'm going to pass it to him, and then we'll open it up for Q&A.
I don't really know if that's true. I mean, I was majoring in creative writing in my 2 years, so I made up a lot of my stuff. That was the whole point of the program. But I'm just thrilled to be out here. It all happened very quickly, but it's really a dream come true for me. It's very surreal, as I said before. And growing up a Cali kid, I was raised in North Hollywood, went to high school in Fresno, college in Stanford. I'm a big time Cali guy. It's a dream come true to play for the Lakers. You grow up watching Kobe and Shaq, in the midst of Showtime with Magic. My brother, his middle name's Byron, after Byron Scott. So, we're absolutely a Laker family. And so that's the last we'll talk of him, though. We don't need to talk about him anymore. You got the better twin. But I'm just thrilled to be here. It's an exciting time to be a part of this organization. And with all the young guys they got, obviously Lonzo, Jew, Larry, just getting to know guys in the locker room. We see a lot of potential in what's going on. And, I'm excited to be here and help teach them and be that veteran presence in this organization. In my 9 years in the league, I played with guys like Vince Carter, KG, Truth, Paul Pierce, D. Will, Joe Johnson. So I've learned the ins and outs, and learned from some of the best what it takes when it comes to kind of teaching in that mentor role. And I feel, I'm here ready to do that. And I've learned a lot along my way. That being said, I'm not looking to just do that and not only, I'm looking to help the team in any way I can on the court, whatever they need done, however I'm fitting into Luke's offense or, defensively being a center the guys can rely on, an anchor in the paint, whether it comes to blocking shots or being on that help side, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
And before we ask questions, I do want to thank, too, Darren Matsubara and Jason Rainey, his agents who are here with him to support, worked closely with them in pulling this transaction off, and just wanted to thank them for being here today, too. So we'll open it up to you guys for questions.
Hey, Brook. To your right here, Mike Bresnahan with Spectrum Sportsnet. We all know you can block shots. You've shown that throughout your career, but then you added this three-point touch last season. How much can you open up the floor for the Lakers?
I believe I can do that a lot. For me, it was just, it was something I felt like I could always do. Growing up, I had 2 older brothers, so I couldn't really drive into the paint at all, or they just blocked my shot. They weren't very nice older brothers. So I had to learn how to score in other ways, and one of those ways was shooting from the outside. So I always felt that I had the touch. It was just really getting into the gym, getting shots up, getting reps in, just working. And then, again, having the confidence to shoot in the game. That's something I have to thank the previous, being in Brooklyn, the regime, with Kenny, just getting in and working on shooting the three and having that confidence to shoot it. And so I believe I can come out here and help our team a lot when it comes to spacing the floor and opening things up for guys.
And Mike, just to add to that, I think he becomes such a great sort of North Star for our 2 young centers, Ivica Zubac and Thomas Bryant, who we took in the draft, who we'll introduce tomorrow. But Luke's system is predicated on having bigs that can stretch the floor and create space, especially with Lonzo and Jordan Clarkson as attack guards, and is having bigs that can open up the floor and allow them to make plays, allow Brandon Ingram to kind of get in creases. So, Julius running the floor, Larry. I think it's a perfect fit, and I think he's a perfect roadmap to our next generations of centers here, too. So it's exciting for that reason as well.
When did you transition? How did you transition to being a three-point shooter? Was it something that you always had, just didn't have the opportunity, or did you say this is something that I've got to really focus on?
Speaking personally, honestly, I feel like I always had it, and it was pretty turbulent out where I'd been, and so we'd been through a lot of coaches in the time I'd been there, to say the least. And so I think a lot of times the coach is coming in and just trying to get his system in place, system in check. So there really wasn't room to kind of, have me expand my game instead of just being a post presence. And so, again, that's one of the things I have to say. Kenny gave me a chance to shoot the three, and, I'm glad he had the confidence in me because, I've always felt I can do it, and that's something I'm going to be doing here to help the team along.
Hi, Brooke. Mark Medina, LA Daily News. How do you approach you being a veteran, being a mentorship figure for these young guys? Yeah,
I touched on that earlier, and honestly, it's a little strange for me. I still feel like a young guy at 29. And 2 years ago, I was playing with KG and Joe Johnson. And a year before that, I was with Truth and D-Will. So, I was kind of the young guy on that totem pole. But at the same time, again, I absorbed everything I could from them. I learned a lot on the fly, just playing with those, Hall of Fame players like those guys. And I really think I'm in the perfect position now to kind of turn around and help the young guys I'm playing with now and teach them a lot, give them a lot of that knowledge, and just sort of give them that opportunity to grow that I had, in the past seasons.
Hey, Brook, earlier in your career, you had some injury issues, and you've been very healthy for the last 3. And I wonder if there was a certain point where you figured out something in your training regimen or the amount of minutes or just the way that your game was suited to the NBA floor, and how important has that been in your improving as a player, being able to be counted on to stay on the floor?
Yeah, it was tough, getting hurt, pretty much 3 seasons in a row. It was tough. It was a setback, and it really, one of the immediate things it did was made me really cherish my time on the floor, on the basketball floor, wearing a jersey. And that being said, I kind of had to refocus my training regimen. I wouldn't say I need a minutes restriction or anything like that, but obviously understanding playing loads. But, I'm happy to play however much Luke wants me to play. If Luke wants me to play 48 minutes, thank you, Luke. I'm down with that for sure. But, that being said, it is about taking care of my body, doing the cold tub, getting in the weight room, as tough as it sounds, getting massages. I mean, no one likes that. but doing the things to take care of yourself. And that's another thing that I can impart on the young guys, kind of showing them how to take care of themselves to prolong your career as long as possible in this league.
And we studied that hard as we kind of evaluated this trade. As you guys know, Irvin and Jeannie and I and Luke, we've worked hard to kind of transform the inner core of some of that part of the Lakers system. And we brought in Gunnar Peterson, who's world class in the fitness area, and we're still interviewing candidates to kind of fill out that area. But we knew that Brook took that incredibly seriously. And I think for our young guys to be able to watch him do it and see the resources we have, then they'll follow suit. So that was just an added benefit of sort of his preparation and the mentality he has to stay ready and to perform.
Brook, I feel remiss if I don't ask, do you feel that your new teammate, was snubbed in the Dunk of the Year contest?
I knew it was going to come up eventually. I do. I mean, it was impressive. I think I got a better view of it than anyone. And when he introduced myself, I told him there obviously was no introduction necessary. Right? But yeah, I would vote for that as Dunk of the Year. At least I get to be part of it then.
Hey, Brook, you've been right over here, Serena Winters,
LakersNation.com.
You've been with the Nets for your entire career, one of the few players that has had the luxury of playing with the team for that long. So you've also been in trade rumors, right, throughout the past years. I have to imagine it's a little bit emotional leaving a team that you've been with for so long, but coming back home. Just what was your reaction, right, when you heard that you had actually been traded from Brooklyn?
I was surprised. But at the same time, it was, again, a whirlwind. I was talking to Rob earlier up in the offices, and we just, I kind of said it was kind of like draft night all over again. It was this mix of emotions, again, a whirlwind. You're kind of being whipped around, and you're just trying to find your ground. But, once I was settled, I think a lot of those emotions just turned into general excitement, at this opportunity and this chance to come back home and play for a team I grew up cheering for and help lead this franchise back to success. I want to be out there, again, teaching the young guys, helping them do whatever I can, and just, being a guy that Luke can rely on to go out there and do whatever he asks.
Brook, kind of building on what Serena's asking, the business end of all of this, whether you stayed at Brooklyn or here, people are always going to talk about trades or the contract or things like that. From that aspect, what is that experience like, just when people refer to you as much by your number contractually as they do you as a player?
Right. I mean, that's something I adjusted to the NBA very quickly. As Serena mentioned, I'd been in numerous trade rumors, and so maybe the first one shocked me when I saw it, online. I learned quick not to read all that stuff and to just ignore it and focus on what I can do and the variables I can control on and off the court. And I just, if anything real was coming, which a lot of those rarely were real or, close to happening, my agent would let me know. Otherwise, I was focused on what I had to do to help my team succeed.
I'll say this, we feel very strongly that he's worth every dollar that he's negotiated to play this season. And, I think he backs it with his actions. A lot of guys that are max players, he's got a max contract, would, take their time, get ready for camp. I mean, to his credit, he was here very quickly in the gym, working out with the young players, sweating, already being an example. And that's a very, very exceptional quality that doesn't exist with some of the guys that get a max contract and then want to potentially just do things on their own time or their own terms. For him to be here with our young core already was something that Magic and Luke and I immediately talked about. Like, wow, that's the type of person that we want this organization to stand for.
Hey, Brook, from afar, what were your impressions of Ivica Zubac's development last season?
I was impressed, honestly. I saw a lot of potential in there, and he has a great touch, great footwork around the rim, and then he shoots the ball pretty well. So being in here the past 3 days, just seeing his work ethic and his work regimen, I've been pretty blown away. I think the sky's the limit for him as long as he just keeps that same mentality and ethic.
Hey, Brooke, just thinking about the way the game has changed the last couple of years and what centers are asked to do defensively in terms of switching out into guards and wings, how has that been for you, that adjustment, and what do you think that'll be like next season under Luke's system?
It has been an adjustment for me. You know, as people know, I'm not the quickest guy, but that's, again, something I've been working on in the weight room, just continuing to improve myself, my body in any way I can. You know, but that being said, we have a lot of guys here, a lot of young athletic guys here with the potential to be great defenders. You know, we can be a great team defensively as long as we have the same mentality, we communicate, we're talking out there, and we have a great energy about us. And the opportunity's definitely there for the taking. And I think with the guys we have, that'll happen pretty quickly. You know, it's just about coming together, realizing what we have to do, and then having each other's back out there.
Brooke, right here. I was wondering, was there something that happened? Did someone talk to you about making that adjustment, or did you just sort of start seeing the game changing and realize that, you know, you needed to adjust to that?
You're talking defensively? Offensively for threes? So it's something that had been part of my off-season workout regime for maybe 5 or 6 seasons, honestly. And it was just part of Kenny's system. Kenny Atkinson, when he first got there, said he really wanted to open the floor up a lot and have shooters at every position. And it does open the floor up a lot for things. So, you know, I took his system, understood what he wanted to do, and again, the key was just I got in the gym and I put the work into it. You know, and that's the way I believe you got to do these things if you want to make these changes.
All righty, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.